All right, hello everybody. Zaxter99 back with not another indie game review, but we're going to be taking a look at this upcoming farming game that looks fantastic. And I came across this earlier this morning and was kind of mesmerized by the trailer. This is a game called The Gods Fabled Soil Frontier, and it is a story-based single-player game, at least right now, and it has a lot to do with farming, but also it kind of reminds me a little bit of Stardew Valley, where you're going to have to interact with, NPCs, and it has a story along with it, and there's a lot of exploration to do. But it's a beautiful looking game right now, and this is a game being developed right now by one solo developer out of Australia. So any of you people that like games like Stardew Valley or My Time at Porsche or anything like that, you're probably going to really want to take a look at this Kickstarter. It's been going for about 10 days now. They already have almost half of their goal. They're trying to get 50,000 Australian dollars, which converted is like 34,000 US dollars. And right now you can see they're almost halfway there. Going to be pretty close, but I have a feeling this thing is going to go well over goal. Probably the last week or two, it's probably going to get double what it's got so far. But let's go ahead and take a look at this, guys. Again, I saw this tonight when I was just looking around because I have my own Kickstarter game that I just put up with Poggers 2, but I came across this one and decided to go ahead and back it up with a pledge of 22 Australian dollars or $15. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick at the level I went in, which is 22 Australian dollars, $15, which converts to about $15 US. Remember, you don't have to, you're not buying the game today with Kickstarter. You're simply making a pledge, and if the developer gets over his goal when the time runs out, then at that point they will deduct whatever you pledge from your debit card, whatever debit card or credit card you give to the website. But you wouldn't be charged for that until the 24th of July. So just so you know, it's something you would have to pay now to support it. But it is, it's a trust thing. So if you support it, there's no guarantee that you're ever going to get the said game. There's no guarantee that he's ever going to finish the game. Things do come up. There's been a lot of Kickstarter games that, have never been completed because maybe the developers, had health issues or they gave up on it or whatever. So you do always take that chance, and definitely nothing you can get a refund on, such as like with Steam or whatever. But let's go ahead and take a look real quick before we look at the trailer and take a look at where I pledged. I pledged at the $15 level at US currency, 22 US dollars. This is an early bird, and there's only 284 left out of 500 total. And with this one, you get a digital wallpaper set. You get the exclusive farmer's outfit that'll probably be just one of a kind item when the game does launch. And then you also get early access to the game. Now, I know it said the early access does come out in early 2023, so probably 8 or 9 months from now, you'll get early access almost a year before the game launches. So if you want to play this game before it launches and maybe have the ability to, give your feedback to the developer, your ideas to the developer, doing something like this is a great way to do that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this farming game that has a lot of NPC and very story based as well, a lot of exploration as well from the looks of it. And I want to show you guys this trailer, and this is what made me go ahead and pony up my pledge this morning. All right, I love this music. I love, love, love the art in this, guys. The music is so loud. But there we go. But yeah, you can see like the animations of her watering, throwing the seeds down in the soil. I love her walking animations. She's throwing fertilizer, it looks like, on the plant she's growing, and you see them growing up here. You can see the chickens running around and pecking at the dirt, flapping their little wings. Yeah, this just looks like such a beautiful, charming game. Love, love, love the music, love the animations here, the characters, the shadows, and look at this guy running through the blizzard. Here we see the mayor, we see different characters in the game, different kinds of unique animals that look very similar to the animals we have here on Earth. But this is the God's Fabled Soil Frontier. Man, this game looks special. $371 backers already. It looks like they are going to make their goal, but that's no guarantee. He has stretch goals as well. So if he more than, well, yeah, $34,000 goal. Well, 50K US dollars or Australian dollars. Yeah, that's what he wants. This is what he's going for. So yeah, it's just going to be the base game of what the most necessary features included. But if he gets 75K Australian dollars or about 52,000 US dollars, there's going to be more content, more crops, animals, NPCs, clothing options, land to explore, and more will be implemented into the game. There will also be a greater variation in the soundtrack, and cooking will be expanded. If it gets up to 100K Australian dollars or 70K US, even more content added to fill up the systems of the game. The Polito town will be larger, with over a dozen more characters added. A motion capture system will be purchased for higher quality animations than what he already has. Wow. And a deeper home customization so you can customize your home with even more options. That would be cool. Somewhere, I have a feeling that it's going to end up being somewhere around here. Hopefully it'll get that 100K Australian dollars or 70K, so we get we get all the motion capture and deeper home customization. I don't know if at this point, I don't know if it's ever going to get to 104K, but if he does, he's going to add a second town, 20 more NPCs, etc. 138,000 of this game, he's going to put it on the consoles and add three more languages as well. If it gets up here, it's going to be a major content explosion, etc. Yeah, he has some ambitious stretch goals here. But multiplayer, a lot of you guys might be wondering if it's going to be multiplayer. No, I don't think it's going to hit 400,000 Australian dollars or over $250,000 US dollars. But if it does, he says he'll add multiplayer so you and your friends can play together. But he also says that if that happens, it may take up to twice as long to make the game. And he's already not going to launch it until 2024 at the earliest. So yeah, if it is multiplayer, it could take even longer. So what is alpha access? This is what you're getting if you do like the same pledge I did, which is the cheapest way you're going to get early access here. $15 pledge US. Due to such an early release, the alpha version of the game will be incomplete. It will have bugs, incomplete mechanics, and lack some of the features entirely. Obviously, we kind of know that with like early access on Steam, that kind of thing. It's your ability to test the game before it's fully complete. From the launch of the alpha version of the game, it will be updated on a monthly basis all the way up until the game is 100% complete. That's a big promise. The promise that you're going to be updating it every month, that's huge. All alpha backers and above will get access to the completed version of the game on the platform of their choice. Keep in mind, platforms other than the PC will take quite a bit longer to release as it's a longer process. You'll be unlikely to be able to carry over safe gameplay from the alpha version to the completed game. Right, so once, you could play the alpha version for a year, and then once he releases the final product on Steam or the console or whatever, you're not going to be able to, any save game progress will probably not be able to be carried over. So he says, back into the lands for an open world fantasy farming experience like no other in the God's Fabled Soil Frontier. Answering a call for help, you will venture into the long-abandoned Polito town, where neglected farmlands, empty streets, rundown buildings, and vast open landscapes and a great deal of mystery call out to you. Mayor Bolquito and the few remaining residents yearn for a savior. Somebody to breathe life not only into the farmlands, but also into the town itself to hopefully restore it to its former glory. So there you go. That's quite the quest, right? As your newly acquired farm finds stable footing and the Polito town stumbles upon a new life, you'll have the chance to offer permanent residence to an abundance of unique characters who all seek a fresh start for themselves. While not tending to the fields, taking care of animals, or moving in new residents, there's a massive world to explore and traverse, streets to uncover, and mysteries to solve. So you get your farming. Naturally, you can expect a game like this to have engaging, mildly complex, and fun, rewarding farming system. You can kind of see her plowing the land there, planting the seeds, watering the crops to get them to grow. Now, how does the God's Fabled Soil Frontier expand upon the tired and tested farming mechanics that we're all really familiar with? Well, there's far too much information surrounding the new farming system to fit in here. Let's just go over the few of the cool features. So one of the features is conditions. Crops aren't season dependent, but they're condition dependent. That's different. This means that although any crop can technically be planted any time of the year, each crop type requires a bare minimum or maximum set of conditions in order to survive. So too much moisture and a gramato will rot. Is that kind of like a tomato? Not enough sunlight per day and a rucumba, whatever that's like a cucumber, won't grow to full size. So you can't have a small rucumba. Size is everything, right? Too cold of a temperature and a nanaya will never ripen, and so on. I like it. I like how he's coming up with his own fruits or whatever as well. His own named, unique named crops. Along with requiring specific conditions to survive, each crop has a range of conditions that, if met, will cause the plant to thrive. Thriving plants will always produce higher quality crops, leading to increased profits, or even an inheritance of quality in the resulting crafted foods and items. Conditions are typically weather related, so you'll need to repair the old radio to receive a basic broadcast. But buying a TV and placing it somewhere in your home might yield a more accurate forecast by the weather updates on Channel 3. That's cool. That's a cool idea. Area of effect. Some crops and plants have an area of effect, or AoE, buff or nerf that affects other plants and crops around them. I like that idea as well. If certain crops are within range of each other, they can give each other effects or even change their properties. For example, a full-grown fidger next to a gramato has a chance to give the harvested gramato a spicy attribute. Ooh, I like that. That's a great idea. Produce tags. Each individual crop that you grow and harvest will be unique. This information will be conveyed through the produce tags. Upon being ready to harvest, Peric, a legendary retired farmer whose joints unfortunately restrict him from working too hard, will proudly grade your crops in the early morning, attaching tags to them in the process. The type of information displayed on a tag can vary per crop as some are crop specific. Each tag will display a weight and color, two of the basic measurements of produce affected by weather conditions and soil moisture. If a crop takes on a special attribute, as mentioned in the AoE section above, that will also be shown on the tag. There are a variety of attributes that can appear on any harvested crop. It will pay for you to learn them over time. And kind of the exploration of that, learning what each one does as well through playing the game, that's always fun, that kind of thing. Information found on the crop tags will directly affect the sale price of the produce item. Furthermore, a crop tag can introduce entirely new properties when a crop is used in applications like crafting, cooking, or even potion brewing. It's interesting that we have crafting and cooking and even the ability to brew potions in this game. The grading of a crop is no ordinary task, and only Parrot can help you. You're lucky he grew tired of a retirement. So there you go. It looks like she's putting some maybe fertilizer down on the crops, or maybe more soil. I'm not sure. Probably fertilizer. More rare magical items can aid plants in surviving unsurvivable conditions if used at the correct time. Specific situations could even promote the development of sentience within your crops. And who knows what might happen if you manage to please the great harvest god Fogan. Or the great harvest god Fogan. Fertilizers, pesticides, trimming, climbing plant structures, hiring helping hands, worker animals, and so much more. The farming system in the God's Fabled Soil Frontier is rich and diverse, and you'll be surprised how deep it does go, and you'll never be bored with the same repetitive tasks, as every growable crop is different. So you also have pets and livestock. Crops aren't the only thing that need some daily tender loving care in your farm. An array of species are available as livestock to adopt, breed, raise, and get items from. So like a chicken being able to give you eggs, for example. For every farm animal, Not unlike each crop, has a set of conditions to both survive and thrive. You'll need to make sure your chickas are in their coop at night. So that's like a chicken, chickas, stuff like that. And that the kumos are always fed to ensure the continuous production of milk. Keeping a supply of Graphots on your hoggles will increase their happiness, in turn delivering you more items snorted up from the dirt they so eagerly sniff. I really like this. I like that they are coming up, or I like this developer is coming up with unique names for these animals that we all know on farms, making the game special and unique and, a little bit imaginative. I really like that. Yignis is your go-to pal for the source of new livestock for your farm. Without her, you'd be limited to the tameable critters of the wilderness and adoptable pets. Should you decide to build an animal shelter somewhere around the Polito town, the animal shelter will play host to the more adorable pets of the game. Treat them well, and each might unlock their unique ability or potential. So then you also have character customization, enormous a variety of clothing options that are randomly colored, patterned, and rotated in and out of stock at NPC stores are available, assuming you can afford it after profiting from your farming exploits, of course. I like that. That is going to be really cool to go in and be able to go in and buy outfits and customize hairdos and colors and stuff like that. And only so many of them will be open or available at any specific time, so you won't have access to all of them, at every moment. I really like that. Every skin tone is possible. Eye color, hair color is achievable through fine tuning hue, lightness, and saturation values, meaning you're not stuck with a few preset options and that you can model your character after yourself. Regardless of gender, you won't be locked out of clothing options. The clothing system is designed in such a way that all t-shirts, pairs of pants, skirts, dresses, etc. Will be able to be worn by any player type and any NPC in the game. I like that. You also have crafting and processing. One does not simply develop a farming game without expanding upon the additional uses of harvested crops, gathered materials, and other produce. Butters, cheese, jams, wines, entire dishes, and even potions are on the menu as you put to use your spoils. Crafting's only purpose isn't limited to increasing the sell price. The vast majority of items, crafted items included, will have their own use outside of capitalism. I like that as well. Non-edibles will be craftable as well, of course. How else would that fallen tree become beams and boards for restoring the Polito town? How do you expect gleaming gemstones you dig up to become faceted? Who is going to mix that can of paint for infinite customization options? You might be curious, what does the God's Fabled Soil Frontier crafting system look like? Well, you can't smelt ore into an ingot with your bare hands. Various crafting and processing stations will be available to the player both throughout the open world and through purchasing from certain vendors that can be placed freely anywhere you like. But you're also going to rebuild the Polito town. The decrepit farm you began your new life on isn't the only scar on these lands. As the old days grew older, fewer and fewer people would call this place home. Signing a watertight legal agreement, you've agreed in return for the deed to the old farmlands to invest your heart and soul into rebuilding the Polito town. As time has slipped away, so has the structural integrity of the forsaken support beams. Collecting raw building materials might be a good place to start. Refine those logs into beams and planks, forge the crude iron into nails and brackets, and retile those roofs in the variety of building minigames when the days on the farm are slow. And then you can also make friends. A train rolls into the station, a vessel at the dock, a lonely traveler found on the not-so-beaten path. No matter where they come from or where you find them, these individuals seem to have all heard whispers and rumors in this renewing land. As the appointed Inquisitor of Population, one of the many odd titles bestowed upon you by Mayor Boquito, you've been entrusted with a vital responsibility of finding these longing for belonging souls to inhabit the freshly renovated and or newly built houses and stores of the Polito town to further solidify its footing. That is a really cool idea. So not only is this a farming game, but it's a game about adventuring and exploring the lands, finding people to come back and fill up the town. So almost like a city building sim where you're trying to grow your city. So you're going to be trying to grow this Polito town by helping helping the city grow and prosper from the desolate, abandoned town that it is when you start the game. That is really, really cool. And then there's also foes, friendly fun, and fancy characters are nothing to shake a stick at, but there are some individuals, intimidating beings, and unflavorful creatures who ignite both fear and danger. With a toggleable option of combat, so you can turn it on and off. If you don't want to fight, foes or have to fight foes, you can turn that off if you want to. But he can guide you, Coach Fleckor, almost like Mr. Miyagi, right? Teaches you how to fight. Can guide you in the ways of fist, blunt, and blade to defend against those foes, or much to his dismay, plunder the depths they reside within. And then exploration. This new place you call home sits on the edge of the land called as Teleku. It is vast, from the highest mountain peaks down to the darkest dungeon floors. So there's dungeons. That's really good. This is exciting. I love this. The Jellybat Glow Caves, the Great Norshi Forest. Getting lost is as trivial as you'll always find your way somewhere. With the area of the old farmlands and Plato Town combined, that accounts for only a few percent of the total playable game world. In other words, it's huge. But what good is a massive open world fantasy game if there's nothing to do in the wild? But luckily, there's plenty for you. So you'll spend your time filling out the many-paged compendium documenting the undiscovered minerals, ores, animals, enemies, fossils, and so much more found in these lands. And look at that, running through a blizzard. That looks fantastic. Playing the combat toggle, playing with the combat toggle on might be preferable as you clear out enemy camps and dungeons while plundering the most valuable and useful loot. Have you ever considered locating and setting free the hundreds of imprisoned Pentari spirits scattered throughout the world? There's the option of also riding around on a tamed pungent bird. Is that like a dragon or something? Or shooing those pesky Munchkins away as they steal electricity from the power lines. Oh wow. You might even prefer collecting one of every substance in the game to stock the museum you refurbish back in the Polito town. Hardly scratching the surface of things to do and places to explore, it's unlikely you'll ever have a clear in-game schedule. Man, that is so cool. And then it shows all the different levels of how much you can donate and what you get with every level. I highly recommend you guys go in and take a look at this. And we have a single solo developer who's been wanting to make a farming game to this scale going on a decade now. Throughout years of learning countless personal hobby projects, freelancing for indie dev companies, and honing my own skills, I finally arrived at the destination of having to develop my God's Fabled, the Soil Frontier, all on my own. Although I am a solo developer and wouldn't change it for the world, I do need help from time to time, and that's I have a network of game developer friends who lend thoughts and advice on my work. We even bounce some ideas off of each other at times. One area I have little experience in, though, is in the production of music. Something crucial in a game like this. Absolutely. Music is very important. In saying that, I'm thrilled to introduce Jolene. Jolene is going to be composing all the music for the game. She created the music for the Kickstarter trailer. Well, she created the music for the Kickstarter trailer, then it's going to be fantastic. I agree. I look forward to working with Jolene throughout the development process. For the development timeline, he already says a month outline of the goals and focuses. Keep in mind these are only estimates. So he kind of has he already has a timeline, so he knows what he's doing. Here's all his, when he wants to do when, and the disclaimer that, you're taking a chance on this, why Kickstarter, expectation and commitment. And then he also has a Discord and all this other good stuff where you can check him out. Guys, I really, really, really like the looks of this game. And for only $15, a lot of Kickstarter games won't even let you get in early unless you pay like $30, $35. This one, you guys can get early access to the game in the alpha up to a year early, or about a year early, by simply donating 15 US dollars or 22 US dollars, which is the pledge I made here. So I'll have the link down to the God's Fabled Soil Frontier down below. be sure you check it out. If this is something that interests you and you would like to maybe support this game, make sure it comes, to life, and that it's not, not funded, because it is all or nothing. So if it doesn't make this goal, then this developer is not going to get any of this money that he feels he needs to produce this game. So I'll definitely let you guys check it out from this point on. But if this looks like something that, is right up your alley, be sure you let me know down in the comments below. I would love to know. And let me know if you enjoyed this video by liking my video here as well. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'm excited for this one. The Gods Fabled Soil Frontier. Kind of a weird name, but it definitely looks like a very special game for sure. We'll see you in the next video, everybody. Again, this is Men's Axe 99. Have a great day or a great night out there. Take care.